What's up everyone? I'm back with another video of some games I've been playing and a couple new platinums I've gotten over the past little while. I hope I don't sound too sick. I have a cold, so if my voice sounds a little phlegmy, I apologize. But yeah, anyways, I just want to say as well, thank you again for watching these videos and leaving some comments. It's really fun to do these videos and I enjoy reading the comments and a lot of nice recommendations and things that people have been saying in the comments, so I really appreciate that as well. And before I get to the platinums, I just want to go through a couple games I've been playing and enjoying a lot lately. These might not be games that I eventually get a platinum for, but if I do, you will probably see them in an upcoming video. First off, Alan Wake Remastered. I played Alan Wake on the Xbox 360 back in 2010. And as a lot of you might know, the recent reveal of Alan Wake 2 has got me wanting to play it again, so I wanted to check out the remastered version. And yeah, I played it and beat it back in the day, and I don't know if I'll get the platinum on this because there's some kind of difficulty-based platinums on here and stuff, but a lot of them it's just kind of playing the game and doing combat-based trophies and kills and stuff, like getting kills with weapons and stuff like that, little fun things. But yeah, I'll probably just play through the game just to enjoy it. I don't know if I'll go for the platinum or not. But yeah, Alan Wake 2 looks awesome, and I can't wait to play it. So I wanted to kind of get caught up again on the first one, so I want to check that one out. Fall Guys, I haven't played it really since it first came out back in 2020. I played it a lot, and I was not able to get a crown or a victory at all. And I jumped on last night actually, and the very first game I jumped into, I won a crown, which was hilarious, and I just couldn't help but laugh at how easy it came to me. So yeah, Fall Guys is a easy to jump into game every now and then, and you know, I might get back into playing a game or two every now and then, but it's a fun game, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know that. And really quick before I get to these two middle ones here, Mortal Kombat 11, I started playing that. It's actually Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. I started playing that, as you can see, back in 2021, and I'm going through the story because I've never actually beaten the story, and I'm really interested in doing that. And going through and doing all the fatalities for all the different characters, because that's fun as hell to do. But I don't think I'm ever going to get the platinum in this one. There's a lot of online stuff and difficulty-based stuff, and yeah, it's not an easy game. I'm not super good at fighting games, so I just really wanted to play Mortal Kombat 11 because I loved Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 10, and all of the DLC characters they added to it. I got Mortal Kombat XL, which had all like the horror movie characters like Jason Voorhees and Alien and Predator, which was awesome, and Leatherface. And this one has like Spawn and the Terminator and Rambo, which I really loved. Some of my favorite characters in movies. I'm a big movie fan, so yeah, I really wanted to play Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, and yeah, I'm going through the story, so I'm excited to see how the story ends because it's a good story. These middle two here, Inscryption and Severed Steel. First off, I'm going to talk with Severed Steel. I'm a big fan of like slow-mo bullet time action games. I actually did a video on this channel like a few months ago about how like they should make more games like John Woo's Stranglehold and Jet Li Rise to Honor, Max Payne 3, like really over-the-top action games like that. I really want to see them do more games like that, and this is almost exactly that, but like a first-person version of it. Very indie game, made by a small team, and it's basically, the gist of it is you're a character, you wake up and you eventually you don't know where you are. I think the whole point of the game is to just escape, kill everyone, and do these little random, like, destroy things in each level and then escape. That's really the plot of it. There's not a huge plot in this game at all. But eventually the main character, she gets an arm cannon. It's almost like a Samus from Metroid arm cannon, and you can destroy walls and floors and ceilings and levels. So like every level is completely destructible. So you can kind of make your way through every level, blowing holes in the wall, like completely break the layout of the level basically. And there's just guys everywhere that you got to kill. So, and you can wall run, you can slide, you can dive through the air, you can jump through windows, and you shoot people, and it's all in slow-mo. Not all of it, but you trigger slow-mo, and like it's kind of like Doom, where if you run out of you replenish your health by killing people, and if you run out of weapons, you just have to throw your gun at someone and immediately grab a new one. But as you can see, I finished the whole game, and there's a lot of trophies dedicated to this firefight thing, which is like a challenge mode kind of thing. Pretty grindy. You do have to play at higher difficulty levels to level up. But a lot of the trophies are like level-based, cool miscellaneous challenges, which I really liked. And there's a new game plus, which I was able to run through because I got pretty good at the game as well. And there's a few more. These are actually firefight trophies as well. So I may get the platinum on this if I do actually dedicate myself to doing all the firefight. I have to rank up to level 80, I think is what this one is. The last one is firefight level 80, yeah. So I could get this one eventually because I really love this game and I would love to get the platinum in it. But I was insanely blown away by how awesome this game is. And you should check it out. Everyone should check it out if you like action games, first-person games. Like, I almost compare it to like Super Hot, Doom, Doom Eternal, Mirror's Edge, and like Stranglehold, Max Payne 3, like those kind of games. So if you like any of those games, you're gonna love this because holy shit. I was kind of blown away by how good it is. It's so smooth and responsive. It's not glitchy at all. Like it feels like $1 million. Plays and controls like $1 million. And like I said, it's an indie game, so they knocked it out of the park. So Severed Steel devs, if by chance you're watching this, no chance in hell you are, but props, big props, because I love this game. And finally, Inscryption. I started Inscryption on a laptop, on PC, my Windows laptop, in 2021 when the game came out. And I really liked it, but I was actually playing it on a work PC, and I was like, I don't like playing games on my work computer. I was sitting at my desk, and I was like, I don't want to, I don't know, I don't like sitting on my work laptop longer than I have to. So I tried it out and I really liked it. I played like the first few hours of it, and I was like, I'm gonna play this again at some point. Then it came to PS5 last year, so I downloaded it and started playing it. And kind of similar to Bloodborne, my experience with Bloodborne, I got really stuck in the first few hours of the game. I found it pretty difficult. I couldn't progress. I kept getting to a certain point, and then I died, and I had to go all the way back to the beginning. And I just kind of got stuck on that spot. So this is last year in October. I was like, I really want to play this game. I really want to get further because I kept hearing so much about, oh, this game is crazy and you got to check it out and don't spoil yourself. It gets really, really awesome and it's surprising and it's plot twists and all this stuff. So as you can see here, a few days ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going back to this game. I really want to play it. And so I should have said there will be some spoilers in these trophy descriptions, but actually, you know what? I'm just going to stay up here. I'm not going to go down. I'm not going to scroll any further because I don't want to spoil this for anyone. I don't think I'll get the platinum in this game because there are some pretty hard challenges and difficulty-based stuff, but I did actually end up going for, as you can see, a decent amount. I almost have 60% progress in the game, but oh my god, I was blown away by how much I liked Inscryption, and it got better after the part that I got stuck on. I love the first part of the game, but it got better in my opinion. Like it got better in the sense that it kept changing and it stayed fresh, and it kept introducing new elements and new things, and it's the artwork and the design of the game and the look and just how much detail and care went into every part of this game. I was blown away. There's so much secrets and layers of things and like things that you won't even see on your first playthrough if you do multiple playthrough. Like there's so much stuff in here that players may not even experience, and just the writing and the music and the plot and the surprises, like, oh my god, it's my kind of game. And I almost want to compare it to something like Killer 7 that came out on the GameCube and PlayStation 2, and that there's just so much to it. Like it has a certain art style, and it's kind of like, okay, you don't know what's going on, it's weird, but that's the charm behind it. Like I feel like there's like entire wikis written about these games that are just like, even like the people that made the games aren't aware of how deep it goes. Like it's just, the fans can kind of take the lore and run with it and come up with all these different theories and things that they think the game is about and what this is about and what that's about. But yeah, hell of a game. It's kind of, I would say it's kind of horror-ish. It is a horror game, but it's like a card game mostly. It's like you play cards against people, and it's strategy involved. There's puzzles. There's like you can get up and walk around little rooms and solve puzzles in the room. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to say too much, but holy shit, play Inscryption, please. And if you get stuck on the first part, just keep going and you'll get through it. And you don't be afraid to look up a guide or stuff on the internet, because there's a lot of really good resources on the internet and tips and tricks for how to do certain things and how to best to tackle certain bosses and different enemies. But yeah, my god, definitely one of my new favorite games, Inscryption, for sure. And I forgot to mention, I played Resident Evil 4 as well, the remake. I got through, I beat the game. I did one run through because the game I forgot how long it is, and there's a lot, they added a lot more in the remake that wasn't in the original, as well as removed some stuff that wasn't in the original. I played the original many times in high school growing up. I loved it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I haven't done the multiple playthroughs for all the trophies in this game. As you can see, like, you got to do a lot of different playthroughs. You got to do speed runs. You got to do this is typical Resident Evil stuff, and I'll probably do some of these at some point. But I played so many hours of it in my first playthrough that I wanted to just move on to something else. But yeah, definitely not done with this game, and probably my game of the year so far. Just because I can't not put it at the top, because it's had such a big impact on me my whole life. But yeah, what else can be said about Resident Evil 4 that hasn't been said by a million people? It's incredible, and the remake is truly insane what they did with it. Like, they modernized it so well, but also really kept it faithful to the classic. So yeah, just Capcom's knocked it out of the park with these Resident Evil games, man. It's insane. All right, on to platinums. My first platinum that I've gotten since Frog Gun, which is the last one I got in my last video. Untitled Goose Game. I played this originally back on 2019. Another one that I played originally on PC, actually, on Mac, on my MacBook. And I really liked it. I was like, me and my partner played it, and we were both just like, this is hilarious. It's so fun. It's so silly, just running around, being a goof, honking your goose everywhere, creating mischief. And we got to the end, we beat it, and we were like, that's great. And then that was it. And then years later, I was like, all right, that came to PlayStation. And so I had the urge to honk again, so I downloaded it and was like, oh, the platinum doesn't seem that bad either. So yeah, you basically just have to do the to-do list on every level in the game, which is there's 4 main areas in the game. They're all connected in this little town. And the to-do lists aren't that hard. You know, it's pretty straightforward stuff. It's like little missions in each little area. Then, of course, there's little miscellaneous challenges you got to do in each area too, which is really fun. Some of them you might get on your own without trying, and some of them are just kind of screw around with the game and see what you can figure out. But some of them you need to know the exact challenge to know that you need to do it. But some of the challenges or some of the trophies that I really liked in this game were the speedrun ones, the quickly ones here. Complete each level before the church bells ring. So as soon as you enter these areas in the game, a timer starts. You don't see the timer. You just know you have to complete the to-do list before you hear the bells ring. And I think it's like 2 or 3 minutes or 4 minutes in some of them. I don't know. So these are really doable, and actually a few of them I got on my first try. I think one of them I did. I think 2 of them I did on my first try. But the garden and the pub, I think, took me several tries, because you're kind of at the mercy of the NPCs in this game, like the people that are wandering around trying to stop the goose from doing all these things. You don't really know what they're gonna do. Like, their AI is a bit unpredictable. Like, they could see you do something and let you get away with it, or they could chase you down and stop you. So there's a lot of trial and error and restarting with some of these, but there's also some good guides as well online to tell you what the best order to do things in. But I really like doing this because it added an additional challenge, but also just a funner way of playing the game. Like, instead of just kind of moseying around and taking your time doing the to-do list, it's like you're just like running through as fast as possible and just grabbing this and yanking this and putting this here and destroying this item and doing this thing. Yeah, so I really liked it. And a lot of these, like I said, these other little miscellaneous challenges were fun to do in the game. Like, just if you've played this game, you know it's really fun and hilarious and just kind of a relaxing game. There's no enemies, like, you don't get killed, or there's no like death penalties or anything, no combat. So hilarious and fun game. And the platinums, you know, I think I did it in a day, actually. Look, I think yeah, April 27th I did it all. So easily doable in a few hours. So yeah, Untitled Goose Game, highly recommended. And my next platinum is another major AAA release from 2023 that I got day one and I really enjoyed. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I really liked Jedi Fallen Order. I think I mentioned in another video I did. Actually, I think it's in the trophies, the video I did about really fun trophies. I liked Jedi Fallen Order. It definitely had some flaws. It wasn't a perfect game, but for what it was, I really enjoyed it, and I could tell that if they did a sequel for it, there's a lot of things they could improve, and they improved them in this one. Like the story is great. I really got attached to the characters, to the acting. Like the acting was awesome. The plot twists and turns, the levels, like the environments and the worlds you explore in this game are awesome. The combat is great. The traversal is great. It's better this time around. There's animals you can ride. There's like the movement and the climbing and everything just feels better. The puzzles are cool. The force powers are cool. The music's great. I mean, this one just knocked it out of the park in my opinion. Like it's just so much better than Fallen Order. Like it made me honestly like Fallen Order a bit more. Like it made me realize that wasn't as bad of a game as I kind of initially felt like it was. Not that I felt it was a bad game, it just wasn't as good as it could have been. Obviously, I played this on PS5, so as a lot of people know, this game does have some performance issues. I didn't notice a ton of them, thankfully. I think I had like 2 or 3 random crashes, but the game saves like quite frequently, so I didn't really lose anything. And in the really big open areas, I did notice like a lot of frame rate issues. It wasn't game breaking for me. It didn't make me go like, I can't play this. But once you get into like buildings or other planets, like there's some planets that are smaller than others that have more of like set paths that you need to follow. But yeah, it was fine for me. Like when the game ran well, it ran perfectly well. Like there was like tons of like complete buttery smooth frame rates that I witnessed, and like the graphics looked incredible. Everything, like this game looks really good. So when it ran well, it looked perfect. And another thing too, the character customization in this game is so much better. God, I had Cal looking so cool. The Cal Kestis, the main character, he had like the windswept hair and the beard, and he had like the cool jackets going on. So many cool jackets and vests in this game, and armor. Oh man, it's awesome. But back to the platinum, you just have to beat the game and do all the side content, get a lot of collectibles. There's actually a lot of collectibles that you do need to get in this game, and there, as you can see, there's also some miscellaneous combat ones and force related things. Yeah, a lot of the trophies in this game kind of remind me of like the first person Sony games like Spider-Man, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima. Like it's a very doable platinum, and a lot of the combat and fun miscellaneous trophies and side things that they ask you to do in this game are just things that you probably already are going to do, or you might do by accident, and the trophy pops and you're like, oh, okay. Like it's just all fun gameplay stuff that you're gonna enjoy doing. And like I mentioned, in terms of collectibles, it's already been a few weeks, so I forget exactly which trophies, but there are some. There's a certain type of resource you need to get every single one of throughout the entire game in every level. That took probably the longest, as well as there's a bunch of bounties you need to do. You need to I just completely forgot the force tiers. So the force tiers are these like hidden challenges all throughout the world, all throughout the different planets you go to, that are like either combat challenges or platforming challenges or something like that. They kind of remind me of like the Super Mario 64 or Super Mario Sunshine like challenges where like you're dropped into a random like it's like an obstacle course, and you're like floating in the middle of nowhere, and you're on this like giant platforms, and you just have to do all these things. It's kind of like that. And then the challenge ones, they range from really fun and like kind of getting you to try out all the different like lightsaber attacks and different stances you can do in this game, because there's a bunch of stances kind of like Ghost of Tsushima where you can like switch your sword stances. They do that with the lightsabers here, and one of them has a pistol, or I should say a blaster, which is one of my main stances actually. I love that stance. But there's a couple force tears that are really hard that involve some bosses that will take you probably more than a few tries. One of them took me several tries, and I was just like, I'm not stopping. I gotta beat these bastards. And when I did, it felt so good. Yeah, so I still recommend doing it because it's very fun. But yeah, those took me a long time. And the rest is just, it's one of those platinums that's just like, please explore and experience everything there is to do in the game. You don't have to get every collectible, which is a huge godsend. Like, you do not have to worry about every single one. So there's just one or two that you do need to get. But yeah, a lot of it, other than these like really random miscellaneous ones, there's a lot of just do the side content, enjoy the game, have a blast with this amazing game that they made. So like I said, and it's very similar to like a Sony first party platinum like God of War, Ghost of Tsushima. Like, it's very doable. I think a lot of people are probably going to end up getting this platinum because I think the game's been it's been enjoyed by a lot of people, other than, like I mentioned, the problems. And I hope that it does get patched eventually and the game does kind of smooth itself out. But speaking for myself, I didn't have that bad of a time with it or that bad of an experience with it. And I really liked this game more than I thought I would. It just kind of felt like this is exactly the kind of Star Wars game I was looking for. And if you're a Star Wars fan, there's a lot here to love. There's a lot of references and things that you'll recognize, and planets and characters and species and lore. There's so much lore. Like, you can just tell that Respawn, who made this game, like, have a lot of like knowledge and admiration for the Star Wars universe. Like, there's the amount of detail and respect and stuff that went into everything in this game, like the environments, the story, the like just walking through the levels and like the environments and the worlds and the buildings and everything. Like, you can just look around and just like, it's just crazy the amount of detail that they did. And I'm speechless at how good I thought it was. So yeah, that's Jedi Survivor. Also, my neighbor is running his leaf blower right outside my window. I hope you can't hear that underneath my beautiful voice. So The Gardens Between, this was a game I actually discovered through the PlayStation Access podcast. The PlayStation Access, it's a YouTube channel it's a UK-based PlayStation channel. They do a lot of really fun videos. They do like live streams, and they also just do like reviews and feature videos and stuff. And the people on the channel are really likable, so I always check out all their stuff. But the podcast, they do a video version of it and also an audio version. But they did one on indie games recently, and actually they talked about Frog Gun, which I was really happy to hear. But one of the people in the podcast recommended The Gardens Between. And I was like, I've never heard of this game. I should check it out. And it was on PlayStation Plus. So I checked it out, and as you can see, I got all the trophies in just a couple hours. It's a very short puzzle game that's kind of like the game Braid, if you've ever played Braid, in the sense that you move like left and right, and time kind of moves forward and backward depending on when you move, in which direction you move, but you can only move left or right. So the controls are just left and right, and also you use like the face buttons on the controller, like X or square or circle or whatever, to interact with things. So there's like, I think like 15 to 20 levels, and they're all just these little like islands that are based on kind of like dreamscape versions of real things in someone's life. So it's a nice little storyline. It's about these two friends, and like they kind of go into these like weird little dream worlds. The plot is nice. It's based on like a real life scenario, but the game has this fantastical element to it. But yeah, there's two characters, and you can control them both, and like one can do this certain thing and one can do the other. So each character has their own specific abilities for dealing with each puzzle. The game is very fun. I enjoyed it. It makes you think. It's cute. It has like a cute art style, and just the storyline is really cute and kind of touching. And the trophies are just like, hey, do this random little task on this level, do this random little task on this level. And some of them you might get on your own, and some of them you might have to look up, but nothing hard at all. And you can go back to every level after you beat it, so there's nothing missable here at all. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's a it takes no time at all, you know, a couple hours and you'll get it, but it's also just nice to enjoy for the story and the puzzles alone. But as in terms of a platinum, yeah, like no issue getting this one at all. Like as you can see, a lot of the completion rating even for the platinum is the same as like the other trophies, so people are getting the platinum for this one, no issue. But yeah, Gardens Between, check it out. It's on PlayStation Plus. Might be something you enjoy if you like puzzles like Braid, and also the game Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. It kind of reminded me of that. It kind of like a little bit of like the two character back and forth doing different abilities, and also the emotional storyline. So yeah, Gardens Between, really good. And the final platinum I've gotten recently is Humanity. This is also on PlayStation Plus currently. I had no idea what this game was. I saw a trailer for it and I said, that looks cool. And it's another puzzle game. You know, 2 back-to-back puzzle games. These might not be games for you, but I really urge people to give the Gardens Between a try, but especially Humanity, because Humanity is something special. It's the art style and the whole presentation of the game is just astounding. It really reminded me of the game Res HD and Tetris Effect, and lo and behold, it's the exact same developers, so it makes total sense. But it's a very kind of like psychedelic, spiritual presentation and storyline of this game where you basically you play a dog, and I'm pretty sure the dog is a god, and the dog is this like glowing little dog that you run around these levels, and you have all these different abilities and commands, and your goal is to just lead humanity from one start point to the goal. So every level is different. There's like it's kind of like you manage like flows. Like it's almost like you start with one flow direction and you can change the direction of the flow of the people. You have to lead them around obstacles and lead them like across gaps. Like you can make them jump or float depending on what commands you have and abilities in that level. You can make them swim through water. You can make them like jump or drop from little gaps and little heights. And there's also, as you can see here, Goldie. Deliver Goldie into the light. There's like these additional challenges in every level where there's these gold figures, and if you make the people like walk into the gold people, then the gold people join the humans. So the humans have to you have to lead all the humans into the light basically at the end. So it's kind of like, I took it as almost like this dog is like guiding people dead people into the afterlife. I don't know if that's what it is. That's just kind of what my brain deciphered the plot as. And there's a story mode in here. There's boss battles, surprisingly. And without spoiling too much, the whole mechanics of the game change frequently. Like there's some puzzles that's just leading people from one direction to the other. Then there's some where you have to get them to like do puzzles, like you have to make them jump and move blocks around, and you have to make them step on switches. You have to make them do all these different things. There's like fans that will blow them up into the air. And then eventually the people can get weapons. So it's almost like humanity is kind of like evolving in ways that like they did in real life, where like they just start out as kind of like brainless people, but they get more smarter and more advanced. So eventually like the people get weapons like guns and swords and stuff, and bats, like billy clubs. I don't know what they are. They're just melee weapons. But they have to fight eventually. So like you literally like, it's almost like, it reminded me of Command and Conquer, the old school Command and Conquer, where like you're guiding your people into these wars basically. Like there's these other people that they have to fight. And if they don't have weapons, then the other people will just kill them instantly. So you have to like arm your people and guide them into these wars, and you just watch the battles play out, and it just looks insane. Like it looks astounding. Like the presentation and graphics are just so cool. But yeah, back to the platinum for this game. There are a lot of difficult things you got to do here. So if you don't look up how to do a lot of this stuff, and the game actually does include hint videos, if like you can pause it in the middle of any puzzle and it'll show you how to do the puzzle with a video. But you also have to like exactly watch the video and see exactly what they're doing. But a lot of the stuff you'll figure out on your own, and when you do figure it out, you feel like a literal genius, because it's just just the beauty of puzzle games when you figure it out on your own. You're like, oh my god, I'm so smart. I got such a big brain. But there's some stuff in here I had to look up. I just was like, I'm staring at the screen being like, oh my god, this is impossible. I can't get this. I can't get set. I'm never going to figure this out. And then there's a few times where I'm like, oh, it just comes to you. And I'm like, I'm a genius. Like there's a few I had to look up on YouTube. And some of the gold ones, like you have to collect every goldie in every level. That one was probably the hardest in the game because some of the things that they ask you to figure out is crazy. So there's some of them I was like, I can figure that one out on my own, and there's some I'm like, nah, I need help with that. But yeah, a lot of the trophies in this game as well are ones that you'll probably get just from experimentation and trying on your own. Some of them are pretty self-explanatory, and you'll just be like, yeah, like I don't need to even figure out what to do for this one. It's probably just going to happen. But there's also these ones right down here, the first wonder, second wonder, third wonder, all the way to seventh. These are ones that are specific level-based challenges you need to do. And I think I only got 2 maybe of these on my own without trying to go for them. Whereas the others require you to do something very specific and very, like, you need to know what to do here. You need to beat a level a very specific way. And a lot of these I tried to do on my own, and I was like, nope, I can't figure it out. I'm looking at a guide, and no issue there. So Humanity is a game I would highly recommend. Definitely one of my favorites of this year so far, and it really surprised me. It made me kind of, I don't know, it just kind of made me feel a certain way. Like, it's kind of uplifting and emotional game. Like, it's very beautiful. It's very majestic. Like I said, Tetris Effect, if you've ever played that, it kind of has this like feel to it, this kind of vibe that really makes you kind of get swept up in it. And Humanity is exactly like that. There's even like a bit of a storyline and like dialogue in it that kind of helps explain to you what's going on. And then when you do beat the game, the ending's really cool and really epic. So man, like, just try this one out. Just give it a shot on PS Plus. Like, if you have PS Plus, like, the first few puzzles really do a good job of like introducing you to the mechanics, and it's not too hard right away. So if you like puzzle games, Humanity is one that you gotta try like ASAP. So that's the end of another video. Thanks again for watching and clicking on this video. Once again, thank you so much to people that have been subscribing and leaving me comments and likes and stuff. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so. And I'm going to keep doing more videos, probably more platinum ones with trophies. I kind of like just doing this, just talking about games I've been getting trophies for and platinums, and kind of giving little reviews of the games. Just kind of gives me something to talk about. If you like this, then stay tuned for more. All right. Have a good one.